This is a man's world. This is a man's world. A fact I've known to be true, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. Or more pointedly stated, without the ability to control them. As little girls, we are taught early how to dress, really how not to. What's appropriate and what brings shame. We are taught how to behave, how to move, how to speak around men. Be courteous, be sweet, but not too friendly, and never respond or react too mean unless you feel being called a bitch. Pejorative term used to describe majestic beings such as I anytime we don't fall in line with the status quo. We coach little girls to cover themselves because the sight of a training bra strap or their budding cleavage could prove too much for pubescent boys to handle. In general, all kids are taught never take candy from strangers. But how many are repetitively told never to sit in a grown man's lap? We are clearly taught that our womanly wiles are a force to be reckoned with at any stage of our development. So we must guard ourselves at all times with all men, no matter the nature of our relationship at all times. But these are just lessons of protection to carry into our adulthood, right? As we mature, we are allowed more autonomy, and it is my body, right? Later, the picture becomes all too clear when we, as women, begin to move about this patriarchal environment. You see, the parking lot of a club is not a safe space for a woman in a short dress, so don't wear that. A sparsely populated park isn't a safe space for women in sports bras and leggings, so don't jog there. In a dark alley, well, duh. A dark alley isn't safe no matter what she's wearing, so don't even bother to take the chance. But what happens when you find yourself in that alley facing a figure that's taller, bigger, and moving faster than you? What's worse is when that figure isn't a stranger, but familiar and hissing "I love yous" in a threatening tone of audacity. Is it then you think about all the times you've been told that if he doesn't leave you alone, if he pulls your hair, kicks your shin, or pushes you to the ground, he must really like you? In this society as it stands, proximity and access are often confused as invitation. And perhaps he was never taught nor cared learning the difference because it is my rights, my choice, correct? A sentiment only to be respected if cloaked in modesty, virginal femininity, domesticated habits, and of course, she could never be too outspoken. Now that she wants to be seen as something, someone, no, I mean something, because the value of most things depreciate the moment it's driven off the lot. But the one thing that keeps the world going round ain't green, it's pink. Patriarchy and pussy have never been a good mix. In fact, once upon an election, a buffoon of a candidate instructed young boys and men everywhere to simply grab us by the pussy. And why not? This is a man's world. And in it, he reigns supreme across the courts of every city's halls as it stands. He is judge, jury, and executioner of every law that governs the female body. And isn't it ironic that the worst thing you can call them, men, you know, the manly man that packs all of his masculinity into a tiny little box, is a pussy? Irony. Let's talk. Because I find it interesting how we must give trigger warnings for events in our own history at the risk of dredging up memories of someone else's experience. Or, heaven forbid, it makes you uncomfortable. Because as a black woman living in America, I know a thing or two about being suffocated in uneasiness. Like in the 90s, when I was told to never scream rape, scream fire. Because odds are, No one is coming to save you if they know the cold, brutal, spiritually decimating acts that are occurring in the dark, but they will rush with pails of water in hand to save. Dun, 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 dun. A burning building. The desire to be seen has nothing to do with the imagery you perceive when you look at me, all the clothes I'm wearing. Of all the many lessons that little girls and women are taught, how many of them mirror in the ones that little boys and men are? Indeed, this is a man's world. But never forget, it wouldn't be nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. Thank you. Yeah.